Yo, 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 yo. We are back again after a little bit of a break. We came in hot 2025, and then we took a little bit of a pause. Fight weeks were kind of slowing down. What's up? What's up, LT? I see your hand up.
Nah,
we got the pod going up on a Tuesday.
right. Now he was riding the wave. I caught you
riding the wave.
Yeah.
And just like that, we back again. LT Kam Gee. What's good?
Who's fighting? Hey.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Hey.
I don't know, Tuesday worked out pretty good. It was a weird one, but hey, we here. We loving it.
Is there a fight in Japan tonight?
Right. We get right up, ready for it.
It's a sumo fight somewhere.
Or maybe in Australia. Who knows?
Right.
Fights on a Tuesday in Japan are usually on a Monday in America.
Is it today or tomorrow? I don't know.
It's probably tomorrow over there. But I mean tomorrow. Maybe
They're in the future.
But nevertheless, there's a fight somewhere. And you're right. I like a Tuesday. It's like it has this fine balance where we could talk revisionist with recap, but we can also predict what's coming. So it's one of those that we kind of breaking that Sunday mold of just revising and revision and going back and looking at fights that just happened that are fresh in our minds. But in this case, we've had a few days to follow through. We have heard everybody think pieces about what happened with this fight and whatever, and the smoke cools down a little bit, and we kind of see the fight's a lot more clearer. But fellas, would you agree or you disagree? How does Tuesday feel for these recaps and prediction type of streamings?
So much stuff is happening constantly. We got to stay ahead of it.
Oh yeah,
we playing catch up right now.
Yeah, it could be any day thing for us, honestly. Especially with how the news is coming through. In the last year coming into this year, man. Like we got to just stay ready, man. Stay ready.
Stay ready. That's the theme of 2025. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All right. Let's do a quick run on the recap. We won't spend too much time because I'm sure the viewership, the listenership are also quite savvy when it comes to some of this news. Is not new. So Friday, the Monster was in action. Isn't that his nickname, right? The Monster.
We got two monsters running around here. Okay.
Yeah. You're right.
It's always interesting, because when I was growing up, the Monster meant something different, but not to get into that meaning of the Monster. Inoue, the most active, the busiest, the living legend. I had the commentator saying that this guy's already a Hall of Famer. Inoue, looking at his activity, looking at the type of fights, looking at the risk taking that he takes. How many fights did he have in 2024? About 6? I can't remember.
It was like 5. I believe it was 5.
It's only right that he comes back in January.
Yeah, probably he's the first premier fighter to break it off, to jump it. And what's your take on this one? Because this was funny. It was banter. But what's your take on this one?
Right, just for the knockout. For me, I guess I'm selfishly wanting him to fight in America. Like, come on, man, we got to stop having these generational talents fighting on a Tuesday. Or whatever day it was. Like, come on, we want to be able to enjoy it and celebrate the greatness of some of these fighters that are out here. But watching them on a Tuesday, Wednesday, that's a selfish American opinion of mine. But really just want to see him fight more, diverse competition, and see if we can get him outside of that Pacific Islander area. Maybe even fight some of those Eastern Europeans that have been really skilled in the ring, maybe some guys in the UK and some more Americans, so that's just more my opinion from it, because the guy that really did stand a chance, did stand a chance with him, man. Come on.
Clean performance, right? Clean. It's like a contract hit, right? Just clean, like sniper.
Right.
Exactly.
And the audacity of him to say, "Yo, give me more. Come on." He was like, "I didn't feel that," and he was like, "All right, here's this 2 and he's like, hold that," and then he fell down. He, like you said, I like that analogy. He's like a sniper, very clinical, very clean. He comes in and he does what he has to do, and he gets out of that ring. How impressive is a super bantamweight fighter like him to have that type of knockout rate? How impressive! I mean, have we seen this since? Okay, let me pull it back. Who I'm now looking at my Rolodex of fighters in there. Pacquiao had that. Pacquiao had a pretty good record too.
He spans several divisions. Maybe start out a little higher, but from me watching Inoue, is like the precision, like LT alluded to, the punching technique. It's always just so precise, and the punch selection is always right, and the accuracy is like second to none, and it's consistent. It's just clean. So you can't help but want to see him be challenged at some point, because as of now, it doesn't really seem like he's been challenged. I think Donito Nonaire may have been one of his tougher fights, but yeah, man. I mean, just all around, just crisp, clean, efficient, and that's how he can generate that power to create those knockouts.
Yeah, and he is what he has to be, because otherwise nobody would care. Honestly, like that's the unfortunate reality of those lower weight classes. It's like,
can we talk about
not a whole lot of money there, but he's like Dion in the corner position right now.
Yeah. Could we talk about his the factor that, and I think LT brought it up, he fights from home. Kam Gee, you train. What extra like boost up power do you get fighting behind your people, cheering you on? Like,
some people would say that it works against you a little bit, because the demands from family and friends, and then it's the pressure you put on yourself just as an athlete. But since he has had so many fights at home, someone like him probably more well adjusted to fighting in front of his home crowd. Now him potentially fighting in America, now that may be something where he's a little unsettled, and you can see some going on early in the fight. But he seems to be somebody that's just extremely focused. They may not rattle him, but he is human. There's nerves, guys, which are sometimes good, can be put to use. But I think for him, it's probably comfortable. Some guys, they don't like it. I heard Andre Ward talk about this actually, about fighting in front of his home fans. So, it's one of those things. He may need to get away to see if he had those nerves or still.
Yeah, because like really and truly, we talk about an AJ. AJ 0-1 fighting in the United States. I'm saying,
he was training in Miami. He was in Miami with the Miami.
Yeah, and he has a pretty good record in Saudi Arabia, but it's not like when he's out there in the UK. The UK, getting rid of people like Klitschko and so on and so forth. Like AJ, he's done his thing in the UK, but like fighting away is where he that home team thing is not a factor. And really and truly, like, this is just me being a fan and not I know what the results is going to be, but I would like to see Cool Boy Steph getting his lick back. I felt like he was Cool Boy Steph dared to be great, and I think Cool Boy could fight him a little different next time. And also, let's make it neutral.
He gotta get past this test right here. Figueroa coming up again.
Oh yeah.
So it says here, ESPN's reporting that he's got at least 2 more fights for this calendar year. One in Saudi Arabia, and then before that, possibly Las Vegas.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. You got some Turkey influence going on. I like that. I can do a 5 o'clock on a Saturday. I could do that. That's a step up from At 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah. Well, this right here is a quick segue. I don't know how this would work, but I think Tank may be kind of lured to taking on an Inoue ticket, because that's a real big ticket. That's money. Oh well, let me pull that back. In Japan, it will be money. I don't know if Inoue would sell here, but it's Tank, man. It's Tank. Tank could make money from anybody.
It's the intrigue. It's the intrigue factor from American fight fans, and then you got the Japanese fans gonna travel. They coming.
How big of a ticket is that? How big of a bag?
The interesting thing here is that Tank is staying down under 140. He's like, his set weight is now 139, 138, and so maybe it's 140 and he's just losing some sweat during training, but he's staying lean right now. That's the point, because he's showing his scale after his workouts, and he been ready. When you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And so, contrary to my original thoughts to see him go up to a 147, he's letting the other three kings balloon up, and he's staying down. Looks like he wants to make this fight happen down here at the lower weight class.
So you thinking? So we're talking about a potential Tank cutting weight to maybe get down to like a 130.
I don't.
128. Let's get anyway up to 128.
He has the resources. I mean, if he's walking around 140,
yeah,
he has the resources to do it.
That would be interesting. If a fighter in their latter stage of their career actually going down in weight, that could be a testament to his greatness if that's something that does happen. Because now you're dealing with a different factor, maybe potential muscle loss, strength loss, knockout potential. I would be. Now I'm a little more intrigued to see that. Because y'all, as y'all know before, I'm like, if Tank was talking retirement, go ahead, man, because we haven't seen the fights. Let's see the fights that people really want to see, or are very intriguing, and that'll be one of them. So,
yeah, I think he'll stick around for this because his handlers, are kind of holding him back. And I think this is what they would perceive to be a safe bet.
What management is Tank under? Independent?
That's a great question.
Because I think he got too big.
He puts on his own promotion.
Okay.
Yeah, notice how I worded that in my phraseology there.
Yeah, exactly. I caught that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tank, like you guys have been saying it, like, yes, he needs more inspiration with the fights that he's picking, because I think Kam Gee in the past episode alluded that it's getting boring. I mean, that like you could see why he feels like he's burnt out, not burnt out but he's not getting the fights that he needs to get. So he's like contemplating retirement because he's always whinging and complaining about this stuff is whack, man. This stuff is whack. Like the game is whack. So if he could give us the fights that we want, and I guess the Inoue would be for us who love boxing, like really, really love boxing, we want to see that clash. Maybe that will be one of his retirement bags. I don't know if there's another bigger bag after that.
Right.
We don't want to see Haney. We don't want to see maybe I want to see Haney versus Tank because
Keyshawn.
Yeah. So there's potential fights to be made. Will they be made?
I want to see Haney versus Tank before Keyshawn because of the sparring chronicles. Those sparring chronicles always make Haney and Tank a must see, because this one said this about sparring. We saw this video about sparring. The sparring thing is the one that just makes me want to see David Haney and Tank, because I won't lie to you, I saw Haney putting in work. We all saw that. We saw Haney, and we also saw Tank doing his thing. So if that Haney versus, I mean, I know that's sparring. Like some people are just tapering off. They're trying to get different looks. But we both, fellas, you both saw those videos, right? Floating around.
Oh yeah.
Don't you not want to see that fight? Like for real, if they're really serious, or you're like, that train passed.
You know, I'm not holding my breath.
Because I know Bill will sell that fight, boy. Like Bill.
Yeah, I'm on the camp of let's see Devin Haney fight again.
Yeah.
To give me any amount of intrigue to seeing what he comes up with. Now, Tank, on the other hand, he has fights that he can make that doesn't require Devin Haney. That could be on the table. You know, he mentioned, or he threw a lot of shade via Twitter/X about guys going to Turkey or going through Riyadh season for fights. I was and that piqued my eyebrows a little bit because I'm like, you know, Turkey's paying these guys really well to put on some great fights. So I thought that was a little interesting. That
Tank free Habibi, tax free Habibi.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, people are getting money just like how he is. Like, why are you publicly shaming them for chasing what they should be doing as a professional, is getting the most money possible?
It's because he probably feels like how Clarissa feels, that it's on the Jake Paul undercard.
Right.
You know, kind of one of those deals.
Yeah. It's like, okay, all right, touche. That's how you do
that. If I'm Haney, I'll just, you know, bow down to a team much stronger than yours, man. Like, come on. They joining that machine over there in Turkey. Hey, join the Habibi thing, you know. Join the Habibi thing, you know, and you know, get that tax-free loot. There's a play, but people are not seeing the play out there. There's a play, and there's a reason why the bigger fights are always gonna happen there. The multi-million fights, the easy bags, you could do it here, but the ones that we rely on multiple investors. If I'm an investor, I'll join teams with Turkey and Riyadh season and the entertainment group of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Me, if I'm Eddie Hearns, or if I'm the top ranking person, I'm going to say, okay, this is a big multi-million fight. Do I want half of my purse going to the IR? Now, I don't even want to get into that money talk, but there's a play happening here, and hey, David Haney, if you're not seeing it, I know you know it. You didn't know how. Bill is a very smart guy. Don't hate on the Twitter saying, yo, this is they're opening up for a circus act or whatever. Nah, join the thing, my friend Habibi. Go get that money.
Haney can just, you know, keep doing him, man. We don't got much to say about him.
Even Shakur's not fighting on ESPN anymore.
Let's move. Let's keep this rolling, man. Let's keep the train moving.
I had to let that one go. Shakur, I had the most views of when he said something ridiculous from fighting on ESPN.
I actually watched this fight.
Delton Smith KOs Waleed Ouza. I'm saying that. This is for the European super lightweight title. And this is Matchroom on the Zone. I caught highlights of this. Before I give my take on this, I just have to say, okay, I won't give my full take, but Kam Gee said you watched it?
Yeah, man. So I was Waleed had no business being in that ring with Mr. Dalton Smith. It was French, I believe. So it was with the French contender versus the United Kingdom contender for this prestigious title. Mm-hmm. And it was a complete wash. And so it just had me questioning the matchmaking here, because it looked like Waleed was like a pro debut guy. you know, and just basically was just getting punched from every angle possible.
It was dog wild
throughout this short fight. So very interesting to see that lopsided of a contest with a guy that did not seem to belong in the ring with Dr. Smith. So shout out to Dr. Smith handling business.
Yeah.
Collecting that belt, a prestigious title over there in the European super lightweight. It's like their red, white, and blue band strap they got over there. Similar to the Ring Magazine belt, but yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
How are you gonna put it, Strap?
I was gonna say a lamb and slaughtering, but I didn't want to make that joke. I had to think about it because, you know, it's a halal thing, you know. And Waleed, I think is Muslim, and
you're going deep, huh?
I want to get deep, huh? My Habibi friends, but yo, that was a sacrifice. That was a stat pack. I don't know what that was. First round knockout, completely dog walk. Kam Gee said it professionally. Waleed didn't deserve to be in there. And especially for the prestigious belt, a belt that actually increases or catapults your ranking in multiple organizations. So, yeah, it's one of those. I watched the highlight of it. But the highlight pretty much tells you the story of everything.
That was the fight.
It was one of those that, you know, I'm surprised even we put it in the banner, but to document what happened. But it was just like. Yeah.
Well, with that said, we'll move to the next one.
There we go.
So we have Ellie, and work with me here. Ellie Scottney defeated Mia Matu. Did I say that right, fellas? This was a unanimous defeat, and it was a defense for the IBF WBO Super Bantam title. These are two women, and Ellie successfully defended her belts. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who Ellie Scottney is. Am I saying that last name right? Scottney?
Sure.
Scottney. But I know that she's from the UK. And Mia Matu, I don't know who that is, but I was entertained. It went all the way, but it was, you know, it was a decision win. So hey, better luck next time, and salute to the champ. The champ went in there and defended her belts.
All right.
That is.
Here we go. This is one card that I watched here.
Now this one was a telltale right here. We have Diego Pacheco versus Steven Nelson for the super middleweight belt. No, for super middleweight bout. Sorry, say belt.
So this is the young prospect versus the wily veteran here.
Yeah. LT, lead this one, please.
All right. So, man, you know, quite frankly, if these are two bigger names, this fight would be appreciated more. Steven Nelson, Terrence Crawford camp out of Omaha, Nebraska. You know, they treat their camp like a franchise, like a team, because, you know, they don't have much in Omaha. One of Terrence's sparring partners, you know, iron sharpening iron. Diego Pacheco, on the other hand, is with the David Benavidez camp, right? So this ain't the first time these two camps have collided, because Jose Benavidez famously fought Terrence Crawford after the
good fight with Terrence Crawford too. A great fight. One of the most challenging fights Terrence Crawford has had in his whole career. Jose gave
correct, and this was at the time when Jose was the premier and the was the headliner coming out of the camp. But with that said, both gentlemen represented their camps well. Pacheco just proved to have youth on his side and to be just a little more cleaner. Did you guys get to see any of this? Or?
I'll go. So Pacheco showed that he had another gear in him. He looked like he was in trouble for a little bit. Steven Nelson, I'm sorry I didn't know too much about him. Of course, we all know who Diego is, and and what potential that he has, from people talking about his size, structure, who he spars with, his style, and all sorts of things. And we are excited to see what type of fighter he fully develops to when he starts to get to his peak. So a lot of people are watching to see, kind of like, not to say the coming of age, but we are waiting for that. We've been waiting for this moment with Pacheco, because we saw Terrence Crawford talking crap to him and all that leading up, and it's all friendly banter. But I was not impressed with him with this fight, or I was more impressed with how Steven Nelson gave him a hard time. But like you said, Diego had more gears in him that helped him sustain that unanimous. It was a tight unanimous. To me, it could have been a split if you had left it to me, but they carded it as unanimous. They scored it as unanimous, so I respect that.
Yeah, I think one of the major factors is that Diego was actually able to do some damage to Steve Nelson. I want to say maybe it was that left eye.
Yeah.
Cut him open, and then also there was visibly some swelling there too. So,
yeah. Well, I really thought Nelson. I almost said overachieved. I don't want to say that. He fought a good fight. He just looked to me to be someone that is just past their prime. Seeing to me that the foot speed, that I feel like, you see a guy, feel like he knows what to do, but he's not able to like get it in gear. And that's kind of what I felt like. I liked his movement. I just thought like that the foot speed needed to close the gap against a taller fighter wasn't there. And I thought that's where his age was showing, and maybe potentially some of the ring rust, because of he got into boxing later in life, and then he also had a layoff. I was trying to get how long he was off, but he had some stuff outside the ring. I believe he had a shooting incident. So he had a 2-year layoff from September 2020 to December 2022. So starting your 20s, you have a layoff, get into this fight, biggest opportunity of your career, and you go against the young prospect, and the young prospect did just enough to edge him out. So, but like Strap was saying, I thought I was going to see a little bit more from Pacheco, coming off of the Selecki win, with coming off a knockout victory. Me thinking that Selecki may have been a tougher opponent, but Steven Nelson showed a lot of savvy. Did more than just surviving. Just came up short. So, but it was good fight to watch. I got some interest in the opponent. So we'll see.
Definitely would like to see Pacheco using that reach advantage more. But he definitely held true to the Benavidez camp and just kind of fought within, inside of range.
Right.
All right.
I didn't give them considerations of being in that camp, so he just making me think even a little more differently about the fight.
Yeah. Well, all right, we'll keep it pushing here.
This fight right here, Andy Cruz versus Omar Salcido, and Andy Cruz had a unanimous decision over Omar Salcido. I was bored on that. To be honest. This fight didn't present to me. First of all, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about the two fighters. But let's take it away. I want to use my biasness about
well, Andy Cruz famously beat Keyshawn Davis in the Olympics for medals. So he's come in with a little bit of that fanfare, defected from Cuba. It's a little older, maybe 28. This is his 4th or 5th fight. Salcido is a knockout artist that had trouble getting in gear the whole time. That Cuban style was there, but Andy Cruz just went out to Philly to work with Boots, open that camp. And when you say boring, that's the type of fights that Andy Cruz is going to have. He's going to have some boring fights because he's just technically superior to most of his opponents. This wasn't a bad opponent. It was a quality opponent he faced that actually, I don't know if he hurt him, but he definitely rung his bell a little bit with a left hook early in the fight. So, and I don't know if you saw after the fight, there was an interaction with Andy Cruz, Shakur, and Keyshawn. And Andy Cruz calls Keyshawn his son. So that was a weird interaction. You see Shakur looking over at Keyshawn like, what you about to do? You go, and then he just gave him a little fist bump and then kind of went about his business. And so it's just something interesting to see because this is a fight that if it does get made or when it gets made, it should definitely be a big fight. But Boots and his dad, he's a junior, right? He's the first. Mr. Ennis. He said he wasn't ready. Yeah, there you go, Fozzie. He said he wasn't ready for Keyshawn yet. So interesting that's what his trainer and coach is saying right now. So
yeah. Well, respect. And LT, you got something to say about the Cruz versus Saul?
Nah, I think I'll let y'all handle that. And keep it pushing right here.
Okay, the next bout here we have Ernesto, known as Tito. Macardo stops Jose how do I say this? Pedraza in the fourth, and this is in the lightweight bout. I didn't remember. I don't think I caught this one. But fellas, did you catch this one? Looks like it was a fourth round TKO.
Missed this one.
Pedraza.
Yep. Congratulations, Mercado. Keep it.
Congratulations, Tito. Tito. I'm saying that right. Tito.
Yeah.
Salute. Hey, you won that. You caught him in the fourth round. Hey.
Nah, man. We definitely will make a mental note. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mercado in the lightweight division, we'll be looking out for you.
All right. Now this is gonna get kind of. Yeah, this is where analysis is gonna happen. Analyzation. Using big words. This is where this is where the real money work. This is it. Original thoughts. Okay, boom. We have February 1st, David Benavidez versus Morrell.
David Morrell. So this is the other monster, the Mexican monster, as dubbed by some guy named Mike Tyson, whoever that is.
Right.
He's got a podcast.
Right.
Yeah, who's he? He has a podcast. We have a podcast.
Right. We're like the same, basically.
You know?
The Davids clash and lock horns. Fellas, we need some breakdowns, some analysis, and predictions. LT, take it on.
Man, so Benavidez, one of my favorite fighters, favorite champions. He is a champion. The Mexican monster. Been following him since he was El Roja Bandera, whatever it is.
The Red Bandit.
This is Mexican versus Cuba. A lot of drama with the lead up here. Okay, definitely looking like some bad blood. We had a belt thrown in the press conference. I'm doing what Strap does right now. We had a belt thrown at the press conference. David Morrell threw his belt at David Benavidez. Anyway, I got the opportunity to watch both of these guys come up on PBC. Morrell came to this country and moved to Minnesota, of all places. So,
old as Minnesota.
But there's also some interesting things around performance enhancement floating out there as it relates to David Morrell and him not signing up for certain testing. And then there's also some other allegations from a previous opponent. So this was kind of juicy.
No pun intended.
Kind of juicy.
Clever.
They're going at it at the 175 weight division, and so Ring Magazine just recently announced that this is gonna be an eliminator bout. So officially an eliminator bout. I remember when they first announced this, I said, whatever episode that was, I said this definitely has those connotations, and it's been made official now. So
there they go, piggybacking.
So was there a closed sign there you
go?
You gotta do the USADA before and after, and samples, A sample, B sample, that type of deal.
Which is very interesting. I mean, there's been no talks of the fight being stopped as but I just think that Benavidez is that confident that I'll beat you and the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys. So now that I've hyped it up, I'll let you guys give your analysis, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, I got Benavidez winning, man. I just coming up sparring Triple G every day, who's one of the greatest middleweights of all time. I just really can't see you really taking a loss to a David Morrell. I think David Morrell can make this a great fight stylistically. This could be a fight that also could be, they may do it 2 or 3 times, depending on the type of punishment is given and how the fight goes. But I just can't see David Benavidez losing. He's just supremely talented, naturally going to be the bigger guy. I think he's going to look much bigger than Morrell on fight night. But Morrell has foot speed. He does things technically that the Cubans do, turning angles. I think he'll be able to take advantage sometimes with Benavidez. But I think the Benavidez he's just nonstop.
Right.
There's like no quit. And I just can't imagine a man that is used to being in a ring with Triple G on a daily basis, who Triple G kept him in camp because he could withstand his power. So, I mean, at a very young age, so that doesn't go away. That resistance is who you are.
Have you had the opportunity to watch Andre Ward's this? Probably not, because he just came out about 4 hours ago now.
What was that?
So Andre Ward just interviewed Benavidez, and Benavidez was talking about how Triple G would give everybody the body pad for sparring.
The respect, the body, the simultaneous body punches, and how Triple G earned his respect.
So Benavidez was like, I don't need that. He's like, if I can't handle his power, then I don't need to be in the ring with him.
Yep.
Also very interesting on that episode of the podcast. There's a training session, and Andre Ward is kind of giving him a couple pointers.
Yeah. I actually saw that clip about the Southpaw Orthodox matchup. Right. Yes, it goes it's a very short clip, but basically what it's typically the Orthodox Southpaw matchup. Your Orthodox fighter, your right-handed fighter, is trying to maintain this foot position and move to your left. That's like what you're taught to in the Southpaw. Like, no, you move to your right to leverage your rear hand. And basically, Andre Ward was saying, I can do what I want to do because he's understanding the moves. I can go left or right and put myself in a good position, even though it breaks the rules of that matchup. So he intentionally breaks the rules to put himself in different positions that the opponent may find a tough time adjusting to. So just like that, that's why I've been studying Andre Ward. So like lately, I've been actually going through his career, watching his fights, and I just love that he was able to like just get in there and talk with Benavidez, who LT loves. I'm a big fan of Benavidez as well. Like just so to see how this is going to play out, because this is something that we will see over and over this weekend with the fight. So the fact that they exchanging, stuff like that is dope. It's dope.
Is the concept like Cuban fighters are programmed to be textbook, so you beat them by going off script?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
And that's a very good sound. That's good sound advice from Andre Ward. Cuban have a long pedigree in their style of fighting, and not to just only point at Cubans. Mexican traditional fighters only fight a certain type of way. So if you only fight a certain type of way, awkward fighters are always a headache, because you don't know how to plan for an awkward fighter, but you know how to fight a Mexican. And I'm not trying, but that's boxing. Boxing, the style that you perfect has its advantages and has its disadvantages. But the thing is, you trust your style because you know your disadvantages of your style, and you don't put yourself in situations to explore those disadvantages. Like LT would say, like a Morel, the legendary Cuban style. Like, it does have its disadvantages, it has advantages, but what Andre Ward is like, so make it, don't give him that predictable look. But just running through these two fighters, right? It's ironic they both have the nicknames that kind of represent who they are. The Mexican monster, David Benavidez, David Morel, El Android? If I'll Google it. It's like the android, like he's a robot, like he was made in some lab with Einstein in Havana and just made this, Fidel Castro fighting juggernaut. Let's not sleep on Morel. He is strong and explosive. That is his thing. He is strong and explosive. But just breaking down the two fighters, I like Benavidez. I've always liked Benavidez. He defies his size. Like, he doesn't fight like his size. He's aggressive. He's a pressure fighter. He's relentless. He's a volume puncher. And I wouldn't say he has one punch knocking power, but he will hit you hard so many times. He has powerful combinations, and that boy got a solid chin. I mean, I like
fast hands, all that.
Fast hands, yeah. And I liked his fight with Caleb Plant, one of my favorite fights that year. One of my favorite things also like about Benavidez is that boy got stamina too, his ability to maintain a high rate throughout the 12 rounds, because yes, he has fights where he has not got people out of here, but his pressure is just ongoing, and that could be saluted by working with people like Triple G to get that type of fight, because Triple G is exactly that. He's a pressure fighter, and he'll put you in that type of situation where he will break you. Benavidez took that from Triple G's book. He's a very mentally tough guy who will use his stamina and his endurance to break you down, and he's a very, very dangerous fighter. My only issues with Benavidez is this in this fight. He lets you test his chin. He has a good chin, but he does have defensive laps. He laps on his defense, which could be very dangerous if you're fighting a Morel. And he also tends to start too slow for me. I mean, that is maybe his style. He's trying to download. They say downloading an opponent. I don't know if that's a boxing term, but if he didn't start slow, I could see him dog walking a David Morel in this fight. David Morel, like you said, he's a lefty. He's Cuban style. His greatest strength is his movement, his precision, that Cuban style, and he has pop power. Cubans have an illustrious amateur career. These guys have been fighting since they were like 4 or 5 years. So his ring IQ is second to none. Amazing. And of course, you could do your Googles, check his amateur pedigree. His list is super long. He has very quick feet, and people sleep on his explosive power. Very, very explosive, with very, very, very many one punch power knockouts in his career. But the thing is this, he's less experienced over long rounds compared to a David Benavidez. And as you know, he has a questionable chin. Key factors for me is this: if Benavidez is being Benavidez and he's being relentless and applying pressure, he's doing his beautiful body work. That's Benavidez. I love Benavidez because he's one of the few fighters that knows how to chop that body down and break you. And his durability, he's going to clean this fight easy. But if David Morrell sticks and moves, counter punches, and manages his pace throughout this fight, I think, fellas, we may have a classic here. And that's just me doing thorough statistical analysis from these two fighters that I've seen fight. So there you have it.
Right. And at 175, and then also, like, again, like you said, depending on how this fight shakes out, but also what happens with the other 175 pounders, you know, they may find themselves here again in about 3 or 4 months. So
yes, sir. But yeah, I'm excited about this one because all I wish for as a Benavidez fan, bro, start early. Don't. And I know it's not his style. It's not even Floyd's style. I know some fighters you will never expect them to start early. They have to figure you out. But start early because you're superior. I just think that. But hey.
All right, we got a couple things to top on. Some housekeeping right here. Ooh. So we ended 2024. Did you have a chance to see this, Cam?
I have not. I am to shame me across X right now. No, we watched. No, we're this is on our list, but let me hear it.
No, absolutely. I definitely went out on a Christmas Day. It was a good way to date. And seeing the film, it's very much documentary style. It showed the city of Flint, Michigan, in an authentic way. It was very good representation of the city. It was a very good representation of just her life story. I was thoroughly pleased by the storytelling aspect of it and just capturing the essence of all of that. They showed, I'm pretty sure they showed Fago Soda in there, if I'm not mistaken. That's a huge part of the culture. I'm looking at product placement very intently. There was a Modelo that made, shout out to Modelo for always supporting. Product placement is major in these type of movies.
People wearing buffs.
You already know. And then the only thing, there's 2 things that I was looking for that I didn't see. I didn't see any Vernon's ginger ale, and I didn't see any Little Caesars. But besides that, they hit basically all the major points that they needed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so
what do you think about documentary style captures that capture athletes that are still active, that have not really completed their athletic endeavors, or who are still alive in that case? What do you guys think of those?
And this is,
you gotta go to NFL Films route.
This is a chapter in her life, right? And so it's it's only a portion. There's so much more to be. I mean, you see how many Rockies they made.
Fair.
Right.
Clarissa, we support you, man. I'm going to definitely not watch it from the Fire Stick. I will spend my good-earned money to stream it somewhere and watch it really and just immerse into the story of your life, because I think even just hearing it from other people that know her from Flint, my boy JJ, they know her. They know her. She's been the Flint Golden Girl since she was a teen, from our junior Olympic days, and they know her very well. They know her family. It's a beautiful story hearing it from people who were there to experience the road to the 2 Olympics and to who she is right now. She has a very, very great pedigree, and I wish it was represented on social media like that. Like, yo, she's really, really a queen, bro. She's really, really that real deal, and the hope of that city of Flint that has suffered so many things from companies moving out the city to the water to all sorts of things that Flint has gone through. So salute to her. Salute to my man JJ.
Hold on a second. When is her fight? Let's give her a shout out on that.
Oh yeah, she fights. Yeah. I don't know if she was too friendly.
I definitely would have had this movie watched. I know what's coming up on the show today. I gotta watch it now.
But as you look for that,
is it Sunday? It says February 2nd. So I'm glad they threw this in there.
That's Sunday.
It says
she's fighting a friend or somebody who she's giving like a lick. Like it didn't look like.
Oh, I saw that social media.
It didn't look like it was any vim to it. There was any like push to it. Like it's like, yo, grab a bone here. I'm gonna fight you. Get a little bit of money here and there. Like this is like the most lit Clarissa has been, and not even she's crossed over into like rumor reports and stuff. Like I'm like she's now she's the real deal.
Yeah. So Clarissa Shields is to face Daniel Perkins on Sunday, February 2nd. Fight will take place at Dort Federal Event Center, Flint, Michigan. Will be broadcast on DAZN. So
wait, we're getting Sunday fighting too? How y'all feel about that?
Well, it's the break between the Super Bowl.
So we need to put a petition in for Sunday boxing outside of football season.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm with it. So you get back your Friday night boxing. If you miss it, you get to recap it on Saturday.
Yeah,
you got your traditional Saturday night fights, and then you got a Sunday night special. I'm with it.
Sure.
So I think we have to mention that this next fight is for heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that on BoxRec.
Mm-hmm.
So no going back down, right?
No, she's gonna ride the elevator.
I guess you got to a women's boxing, right? To get the fight made, you gotta.
She's gonna yo-yo where the money is at, like.
Man. So I'm really trying to get a female fighter into pro boxing, y'all. So just trying.
Salute to Clarissa.
Salute to her.
Yes.
Salute to her.
Yes.
Speaking of heavyweights.
Oh. Big boy, super heavyweight.
So this one.
That guy's retired. That guy was retired. Let's cut to the cheese. That guy's retired like 4 or 5 times.
Did I predict this though?
Yeah, you did. He's retired.
It was either this or AJ, right? I mean,
or if Eddie Hearns gets that AJ lift off him and something happens and my boy's jumping out of that retirement thing, bro. One last dance. I don't think he's really retired. He's retired. He retired the first time after he fought Vladimir Klitschko. He retired another time when he fought the second time he fought Deontay Wilder, and then he came out. I'm not retired anymore. Like I maybe this is the real deal. He's only lost 2 times, right? He's only lost twice to the same person. So I don't know. I don't get this, man.
Really, I thought it made plenty sense. He took he took a lot of punishment in the Wilder fights, and that definitely his resistance to punches just faded with that. Like he took some major shots from a prime Deontay Wilder,
and he got dropped by a UFC fighter.
I was gonna laugh.
Yes. So the chin was waning. We saw a smaller man in Usyk wobble him, hurt him, and first fight, had him going across the ring. I mean, great career. I mean, heavyweight boxing is brutal. So to see someone like himself, dealt with addiction or whatever, mental issues, and to come back from defeat, become a champion, be a character, entertainer in the sport. I mean, we gotta appreciate it for what it is, man. And he had
definitely you, Tyson Fury, for real. That's real, yeah.
Definitely, if he chooses to pursue it, will be a great commentator.
You can definitely see him sticking around.
He cusses too much.
Fashion.
He be cussing too much, but He's a funny dude though. You'd be nice if he was like kind of like
control on pay-per-view. Put him on pay-per-view.
This is the Pat McAfee era, baby.
Yeah. They paid him, but you just gotta let a certain type of person do it first, and then you can.
So let's take away recency bias, right? Let's go back to our Rolodex when we talk about the heavyweight. Let's go back to all the heavyweights that we've known since our understanding boxing, right? Heavyweight is one of those positions or one of those weight categories that you don't have a champ for a long time. I mean, the belt switches. Even when I was a kid, even Mike didn't have the belt for too long when he was having it, right? Because it moves. That belt moves. Because anybody, even defending, when you defend. No, okay, I'm leading up to say, Vladimir Klitschko. Was it Vitaly? No, it's Vladimir who has the longest reign as a heavyweight in the history of heavyweights, right? Right. I think that's it. Because he reigned from about 2003 leading on to the late 2015, 2000.
It wasn't because of the amount of fights, though. It was the amount of time, but it wasn't the amount of fights.
And people always say that his opponents were not as good as the 80s heavyweights or the 90s heavyweights, right? So where do we rank Tyson Fury in that ladder or in that top 20 heavyweights of all time? Because he did reign for a little bit, not long enough. If you look at Tyson, Tyson didn't reign for too long, but we still rank him high. Ali did he reign for a little bit? Foreman reigned for a little bit, but the belt kept on switching because there were so many bad boys in there in those days. Like even Lennox Lewis, who had quite a bit of a reign. But that belt kept on moving. We talk about Mercer. We talk about Bowie. It's one of those positions like you can't do it like a Floyd Mayweather did, where he's king supreme, right? Because anyone could knock you out. Where do we rank Tyson Fury and his illustrious career in the heavyweight? Do you put him top 20, top 10? Does he make even top 20? Just off the top of the head, you don't even have to think.
Judge I don't know, man. Just judging the era it's a weak era. He dominated a weak era, in my opinion. Yeah. It's coming on strong here as of lately, stronger, but
and that's kind of how I feel. You dominated a weaker era of boxing. Seems to me that puts you outside of that top 20 range. Mm-hmm. It's like he gave us what we needed for the era, for that division to really elevate his boxing. The pool of talent needs to be a little fuller than what it was in this era. So hopefully that's something that we're seeing coming up, so we can get true barometers of these guys' greatness. Because that's the problem, right? You don't know how great a Tyson Fury was compared to the other eras because he didn't really see that challenge consistently. As you saw in an era with Ali, you saw him fight Ken Norton, Joe Frazier twice, or Ken Norton more than once. Then you see him fight, journeyman like Wepner that can last 15 rounds. So it's like
Tyson's own words, Tyson is a huge lineal guy as far as beating the being the man. You got to beat the man. AJ crossed the generation where he got the belt from Klitschko.
Tyson's longest reign was 3 years, I think 85, 80 something to like 88, and then he lost it, and then it was like holding it for 1 year, and somebody else took it. The Evander Holyfield, and then the Lennox. That belt keeps on moving, man. It's hard to be the head honcho in that division.
And so it's kind of weird because we never seen Fury versus AJ.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So where do things shake lineally? Like Usyk got all the belts. So
right.
He's the man right now.
You're absolutely right.
Because it's like ceremonially can be passed, right? So
I saw a debate, and there was a very good angle to this debate, saying that heavyweights back then would struggle with a mammoth like a Tyson Fury because they never really saw guys there were guys who were big, but they didn't have the movement of a Fury or didn't have the adaptability of a Fury because they were just bruisers, right? And also another angle to this is we saw people like Fury's prototype. I wouldn't say Klitschko is the prototype. Klitschko is the first. He's the birth of those 6'6", 6'7". Because people forget Klitschko had some swag too. He was not like weak. He was not flat-footed. Klitschko was good, but he got clipped a lot, and he switched his style and became boring as he got older. But he was really good. He was a good fighter. What he did to Ron Mercer, if you go watch that Ron Mercer fight, that's when you see how good Klitschko was. But when Klitschko was knocking out our legends of the yesteryear, they were like, oh, the heavyweight division is changing. You got to be this big. It was kind of like Ivan Drago type of prototype, right? That prototype has moved on to the AJ. So with a Tyson who was 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, 215 pounds, fight a 265-pound AJ who moves. So it's different because Ali was 215, 215 pounds, 6'2", right? So like those guys were different. Even George, who we thought was a big mammoth, George is like 6'2", 6'3", 240, right? Right. Well, that was his measurements, right? It wasn't like
modern defensive end.
It wasn't like
the skill levels just don't compare. When I judge Tyson as a heavyweight, I look at 20-year-old Tyson.
Right.
Watching him fight, you don't really see speed at that division. The ability to counter one punch knockout, you don't see it anywhere. The reign may not have been long, but the eye test is there. Someone like I mentioned her earlier, Ken Norton, right, presents a style of a lot of bobbing and weaving, which we don't see from any of the current heavyweights, right? There are nuances and skills that aren't practiced that the older heavyweights kept in their game. Someone like a Larry Holmes would be considered a smaller heavyweight in this division, but that jab is a great equalizer, as far as size goes, learning how to use that. So the thing with we're alluding to with the era is we don't see that skill level translating to the size. These guys are big, but we don't see the skills to make guys that are smaller, make them smaller. Right? You're big and big. You can be smaller with skill, and that can be exposed at that level.
And we've seen what a modern day Usyk has done. So
right, and you're absolutely
Usyk is very comparable to heavyweights of past as far as just the measurables. Right, Usyk fits in a couple of different eras of heavyweight boxing because of his size. He's not really super small heavyweight wise. He's not really big either. So
definitely right. Yep.
Because I want to have an example of that is there.
I remember them back in the day. They had some big dudes. They had Frank Bruno. He was big, but Tyson destroyed this big dude. Like you remember how Bruno standing next to Tyson? He made Tyson look small, but Tyson knocked him out.
Movement, power, it's just
and beat the brakes out of Bruno. So you're right. You're right. It's the skills that pay the bills. Like you could be big, you could be. If you don't got the skills, Anyway, that's a good debate, because right now, as I see Tyson Fury retiring, and I'm looking at his reign, I'm like, oh, he has a pretty good. He's not looking bad. 2 losses. He held the belt in 2020 to about 2019 or 2020 to about 2023. He had a good reign, and he had another reign where he held the belt from Klitschko from 2014 to about 2016. I can't remember the real numbers, but he had a good prolonged time when he's fighting and defending the belt. And I was wondering, where do we put him? Because he defended the belt, but you're right. Maybe he defended it against some bums. But I don't want to disrespect anyone. No, but not bums, but not as good fighters as the yesteryear fighters. This is actually a whole topic to a whole podcast where we could just run through resumes and see who our top 20 heavyweights are, because heavyweight is an interesting division for me right now.
But And so that's the danger, is you kind of diminish it now that you compare it to Cross Era in this moment. But hey, thank you for the entertainment.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we hit the hour mark today. We would love to run through these the UFC 3011
sprint
11 main card, so we won't go into super details. It will be touch and go. All right, so we'll start with the main card. We have Islam Makhachev versus Renato I'm gonna mess this name, Moicano, and I'm saying that because he's definitely Brazilian. I had to add the Moicano, Portuguese. So with this one, I have to go to my notes here. So with this one here, we had Islam successfully defeating Moicano for the light heavyweight title, and he defeated him through submission, through a rare naked choke in the first round. So it was a quick waste for this particular fight. Not waste meaning a waste of a fight, but more like he submitted him and ended the fight and
right.
Went back home. It was a quick first round. So it's always good to finish your dinner quick, and you go do your thing, go party in Vegas, whatever you have to do as the new UFC lightweight champ. The next fight here, we have Mirab I'm messing this one. Delivishvili versus Umar Morsvadev. And this was for the bantam heavyweight title. Mirab defeated and retained his title. And this was done through a unanimous decision from the judges. I'll run through that. And we have Jari Prozavic versus Jamal Hill. This is for the light heavyweight title. Jamal Hill lost this fight. I like Jamal Hill one. He's one of my favorite UFC fighters. From Detroit, somewhere Michigan, I think Detroit. But he lost that fight through TKO. And Yari, I think Yari's last fight was with Alex Pereira. So Yari again puts himself as number one contender to Alex Pereira. Actually, Alex Pereira put out a meme making fun of both fighters, saying those are both his sons, and he just wanted the winner of those two. The next fight we have here, the next battle we have here is Jayton Almeida versus Sergey Pavic, and this is for the heavyweight. This is a heavyweight bout. And this was also a first round TKO, and it was Almeida that defeated Spivak, and it was a punch TKO in 4 minutes 53 seconds of first round. So that was a quick one. And then just to sum it all up, this name is hilarious. Reina de Raida. Reina de Raida beat my guy, man. Kevin Holland. Even though they have on the banner Evan Holland. His name is Kevin Holland from Texas, a legend in the UFC middleweight, a striker, karate, kung fu guy, hilarious personality. Kevin Holland was defeated. He was defeated through a rare naked choke in the first round, minutes 3:31. And realistically, Kevin Holland has now become he's become a gatekeeper. He's become a journeyman. He's all reliable. I know Dana White always hits him up in case a fighter doesn't make, and I think that's what happened here. Fighter didn't make weight. Something happened. Fighter hurt themselves last week of camp. Kevin, hey, are you in shape? Hey, I got a bag for you. Say less. Pops in. Sometimes you got to pop out, but in this case, he didn't have to show anybody. Now, he popped out and he got naked choke in the first round, just unprepared as he is, but he already knew the bag has been secured. The eagle has been dropped. He is He's good. He's good. And just like that was a quick recap. We also going to talk about something that is going to happen this weekend. We have the return of the style bender.
Wait, you got to do the UFC recap, right?
Yeah. Hey, we were fast.
There he is. There he is.
Supersonic speed. He's just quick. Oh yeah, we could do that again. We could go back and revise it. Now we have the return of the Stylebender, fellas. I'll be honest. Stylebender is creating more fiction on ESPN and the streets and social media. People want to see the UFC because of Stylebender. And Stylebender is not fighting on a legendary night. He's not like a UFC number based. It's just UFC fight night. It's a fight night. And I hope it's not a Friday. It's a Saturday, right? Yeah, fight night. Regular UFC fight night. And it shows you the power of Stardom. Even though he's lost a couple of fights, a man still got people talking about him. Who he's fighting, I don't know who this guy is. Nazardrine Imamov.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is he losing his steam?
Imavov.
So
Nazardrine Imamov.
From France. He's actually the number 5 middleweight.
Oh yeah, he's ranked high. Okay.
So Israel is currently number 2.
Appropriate matchup when it comes to the rankings.
Salute. My bad. I didn't know your gangster.
That name. Yeah, I know the name.
I didn't know your gangster, but I know when you sound like that, if you're from Russia, if you're from that place where all the Khabibs come from, I know you're gangster, real gangster. Like, I can't test it. Like I believe. I don't even need to watch. I know. I believe. I've seen a lot of them. They come in and take over the UFC. But with that being said, fellas, do you think Stylebender still has? He's 37, leading on to 38. He's had. We were talking about somebody that held it down. That guy's been holding down for the UFC since 2015. You know, he had gone on a crazy run of undefeated, like especially as a champ. He defended his belt like 12 times. I can't remember how many times he defended his belt. Some ridiculous number. But people later on figured him out, you know. So, yeah, legends die hard.
Listen, hey, man, this guy's got entertainment value. Okay,
still.
And what do you mean?
He's 37. He's 37. I mean, he still has entertainment. Evidently, you're right. He's all over news. He's everywhere. Drake is calling him, saying, "I put an easy million on you." I'm like, dude, he's not even the premier fighter in the UFC right now, but he's still the guy who the popular culture is leading towards.
It's the UFC strap. Like, just because you lose doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Right. We're trying to kill that mindset, man.
Right. So you think he still has a second wind where he can come in again and do Stylebender things and be on video games and everything, every commercial?
He has entertainment value. He is a personality.
The personality.
Come on.
And he's a good fighter.
He has a style. He has a style that people want to see.
It's a good fighter. He knocks out people. He gets knocked out. Yeah. Well, Stylebender, Izzy, I support you. Out of they used to call them the Three Kings. Ngannou, Usman, and Israel. Israel was my favorite because Israel was the pure fighter to me in a essence. Like Usman, I like Usman, tough, good wrestler, and he could punch. You know what Ngannou's all about. But Israel to me was a personality, and I liked him, and I hope he gets that second win. He deserves that second win. He's an absolute legend. I'm gonna be unbiased here and let you know, I'll win or loss, I'm still gonna support Izzy. Respect. Another one that is a crowd favorite. You have to do the thing. You got to do the snake thing. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, it's right there. Guys, we got MVP in the house. Michael Venom, the Snake Page. MVP. He's back. I mean, he's done his rounds. He's done his rounds everywhere. He landed in the UFC, and he's gonna fight a very scary person, Shara the Bullet.
Hey, listen.
Shara Magomedov.
If you want ratings, you put these two guys on the same card.
Right.
So they're in the same division respectively. So this is even Shara Magomedov versus Shara. So So Shara is 14 and MVP is ranked 15. So there you have it.
You know, Shara is not supposed to fight in the U.S. You know that because he's blind. Yeah, I think they I don't know if they cleared him. That's why they always have him overseas because they won't clear him to fight here because he only has one functional eye.
All right, so that'll tell us what time.
Right.
Saturday, 11 a.m. Thank you for pointing that out to us.
Right.
Wow, we gotta get in there early.
Yeah. With that being said, I already know who LT is choosing on this fight. He's going for the legend. I like how he does that in the face-off for ages. Acts like a cobra and just looks up and he's pure entertainment. Michael Venom Page is pure entertainment. So, fellas,
11 a.m.
Any predictions on those two?
Listen, I think this is just as close as the rankings. Honestly, I mean, MVP is MVP. He's got once again entertainment value. I'm tuning in to be entertained.
There you go.
That's my UFC fandom these days. If I could be entertained, I'm in.
Amy, break the gnome.
Not in there for the snooze. So
different.
I'll run from the gym Saturday morning, get home and turn on some UFC.
Fairs. And just like that, the audience, you had another fully action-packed episode. We went back in history and we went back to the future. And we back here again. Told you what happened last week. Told you what's going to happen in the future. Excited for the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode. Episode 41 of Who's Fighting? Kam Gee, LT. Who's fighting?
Who's fighting?